I've made a fortune in LA. I'm on the television night and day, and lo, behold, I'm yours. I bought a house that ain't a home. I've got a teenage girlfriend, she's all grown, and lo, behold, I'm yours. But she could never learn to love LA. She would rather dance all night and play alone.
You're listening to Non-Stop Rock Talk with Tyson Bryden.
Eric the Trainer and Mike Kroeger, welcome to Non-Stop Rock Talk. How are you guys doing today?
Happy to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Happy to have you guys. Eric, immediately, let's start off by talking about Maine Monster, which is primarily your, I guess it's kind of termed in your bio as the supergroup music project. But before we kind of go into that, tell me a bit about your background. Obviously, you're a trainer, a musician as well.
I'm a personal trainer. I live in Los Angeles, California. I train a lot of actors that you see on television and film, but I also train a lot of musicians, some of which are my favorite musicians of all time, but that's a personal thing. I mean, when you grow up on a farm in Maine, because I grew up in the woods, I grew up on a farm in Maine, you dream of someday meeting the people that inspired you when you were younger. And lucky for me, it's actually occurred in my life. I feel so fortunate. So I live here in LA, train all these different musicians and actors. And during COVID, we actually had a lockdown here in Los Angeles where many of us were stuck at home, which for me is unusual because I'm usually at the gym with my clients. So when I found myself at home, I actually was in quarantine with my fiance, who is now my wife. I just got married.
Congrats.
And during that time, I wrote a bunch of new songs on the acoustic guitar.
Cool.
Because I was very inspired to be locked up with a beautiful, fantastic woman that I was about to marry. And one of those songs was called I'm Yours, which was honestly about how unimpressed she is with the success I've had, because she only loves me for who I am, which is awesome. So it all works out. But when the lockdown lifted, I went into the studio to record these songs, and I told a bunch of my pals at the gym that I was doing it, and we all decided to record together. And so I'm living my dream. I get a chance to play music with guys like Mike from Nickelback, with guys like Aviv, the drummer from Air Supply, all these bands I've loved my whole life. Now we're collaborating. And as a fitness guy, it's a dream come true.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So Mike, how did you did Eric kind of approach you to do this project with him?
It was Eric and I have been training together for a while since shortly after I actually moved to Los Angeles. I met Eric and he invited me to come to his gym and train, and I've been going there ever since. And and just loving the group atmosphere there. It's just a wonderful place. Like so many positive, awesome people, and everybody helps each other out, and everybody's supportive of each other. And yeah, Eric just one day just said, "Hey, I'm thinking about making a record, and I'm looking for a bass player." And I said, "I'm yours."
That's awesome.
No pun intended.
That is so cool. So like Mike through, I'm kind of going to divert to Nickelback just for a second. Are you guys kind of, because of COVID-19, are you guys kind of on hiatus right now?
Yeah, kind of. The fact that I live in LA and the other guys all live up in the Vancouver area, it kind of makes it sort of tough for us all to get together and do stuff. So kind of on hiatus, but because of the way technology works right now, if there's ideas, we can just send them, by online, and we can work on stuff independently. We each have a studio in our home, so we can record an album, no problem. We don't have to see each other. We can make a record, and then just send all the files to the mixer, and then mastering, done. We don't really even have to work in the same place if we can't do it. So yeah, we can work remotely completely.
That's so awesome. I mean, technology is amazing for that very fact. Eric, is that kind of how you did everything as well on this project, or did guys come into the studio, or were they sending you the stuff that they'd done as well?
Actually, I went into the studio in Hollywood with a producer known as Wolves. He does a lot of great music, and I laid down the vocals and some basic guitar, And then we had different musicians that live in the area come into the studio separately to lay down their parts. And so it was a collaborative effort, but we did some major social distancing, because we wanted to stay safe.
Yeah.
But still collaborating when you're a guy like a trainer, a fitness trainer like me, and you get a chance to collaborate musically with some of the greatest musicians you've ever known, it's amazing. It's like playing a basketball game with a bunch of NBA players. They make you look really good. And so the music really came to life in a way that I could have never imagined. And I'm very grateful to guys like Mike. Ow!
Oh, thanks, buddy.
So, I mean, in terms of you as a songwriter, like, where do you kind of get your ideas and motivation from?
Well, as a songwriter, it's been an outlet, an artistic outlet for me my entire career. When I lived in New York City and I was a young trainer just learning the craft, one day I was in the gym and I saw a guy with frosted hair. He had kind of a cool haircut. And I started calling him Bon Jovi. And by the third or fourth day, he said to me, by the way, my name isn't Bon Jovi. My name is Brad Talinsky. I'm the editor-in-chief of Guitar World magazine.
Oh.
And I have a proposition for you. Why don't you train me and get me into great shape, and I'll teach you how to play guitar. And I said, absolutely. This is like being back in Maine. It's an old-fashioned barter. I love this. Like, I'm back on the farm. And so Brad taught me how to play guitar. And that's when I was like 22 or 23. And I'm still playing. It's a lot of fun. It's very empowering. And so at the end of a long day of working in the fitness world, I go home and I write songs on the acoustic guitar, and usually in my underwear after taking a shower. And it's just very, very fun. So I love to write songs and express myself through music.
That's fantastic. Now, the single for the track, I'm Yours, which is a song, as you had mentioned, about an unimpressed girlfriend. The first line states, I made a fortune in LA. I'm on the television night and day. Tell me a little bit about that song.
Like I said, I'm now married to a woman who doesn't value material success in the same way that many other women here in Los Angeles do. She's really in it for the inside, the love, the soul. And I really appreciate that about her. And, I've been in Los Angeles now for almost 25 years. And I've had a lot of success. I've hosted a television show for the past 5 years that your viewers can watch on Amazon Prime called Celebrity Sweat, which is a behind-the-scenes look at athletes and celebrities and their lifestyle. That's actually how I met Mike originally. He was a guest on our show.
Cool.
We were backstage in Chicago, and I've actually done really well. I have my own gym here in Hollywood. Things have gone very, very well for this farm boy from Maine, and yet all that she cares about is me. So that's what I made a fortune in LA. I'm on the television night and day, and lo and behold, I'm yours. Like, look who I ended up with. She just loves me for the guy I am, the Mainer.
That's cool. Now, is that guitar that you've been strumming there, is that an Ovation?
It is. This is an Ovation.
Nice.
And what happened was, when I took lessons from Brad Talinsky, he taught me how to play on an Ovation. And so I started collecting Ovations. I have a lot of Ovations. I've played them almost my whole career. I do have other fancier guitars, but I'll tell you, because I'm a workout guy, the curved back of the Ovation feels really nice against my muscular torso. And it's fun to play.
And I see that one's got cutaway on it. I had an 82 Ovation, and I lent it to somebody and never got it back.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you lend out good guitars, man.
What's that? Sorry, Mike?
That's what happens when you lend out good guitars.
I know. I know.
You don't want to lend out the good ones.
No, I probably shouldn't have. And it was, you know what? It was a favor because it was his son wanted to learn how to play. So I said, I just bought this new tack of mine, and I was like, okay, well, I've got this Ovation. If he wants to learn to play, here, take this, and he can try it out, right? So, but I'm sure if I really hunted down, I'm sure I could find it. So
they're a lot of fun to play. I love Ovations.
They are. And I mean, I go back to the Bon Jovi days of Wanted Dead or Alive where, Richie was using the Ovation. So that's very cool. Now, Mike, you played on I'm Yours. Now, when coming into a record on someone else's vision, how do you kind of approach it? I'm sure in Nickelback, you know what the formula is, and being that you guys have played together for so long, it's a pretty standard thing for you. But on someone else's vision, I'm sure you listen to the track. Would you ask questions to the artist on how they perceive the bass line?
Yeah, it's the same thing I do when write songs with Chad, it's the same thing. I just say, what do you want? You know, like what do you want? What do you want it to sound like? And sometimes, you know, with Nickelback and with Eric, sometimes it's like, just go and do your thing, do what you do, and then let's see how that sounds. And other times there's a more guided approach.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, Eric, you mentioned that, and I hope I get this name right, of the producer. You worked with Amir Ofer on this project. He produced it. Tell me what he brought to the project.
You know, he's known in the music world as Wolves. He's a producer, and he has such a professional and laid-back attitude. I've done recording in the past, you know, on a much lower scale with other producers where they go in and they have an agenda. And many times the music comes out sort of as a combination of what I wanted and what they wanted. And maybe it's better, maybe it's worse. But with these songs, I really had a clear vision of what I heard in my head. And when I sat down before we worked together and I spoke with Wolves, he really said to me, I get what you're going for. And I think we can make it come alive. And he's a great producer, man. You know, the second single that's going to come out in a couple of weeks is called Girl Like You. And it features me singing on the chorus with Arnell from Journey. And when you have a voice that big, filling up the track, I mean, it's really something else. And I think you're going to love that song. I can't wait for you and your listeners to check it out.
That's awesome. Now, Mike, is I'm Yours the only track you played on?
No, I think I've played on them all so far. There's 3 I think we've done so far. I'm on Girl Like You, and then there's another one, Waiting in the Wings, that we'll leave that one for the next interview.
That's cool. That is very cool. Now, so I'm assuming that you're looking towards a full-length album at some point. Do you think?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that we've recorded 3 songs already, and I have another 12 written. So I think we're slowly but surely going to record some more music. And for me, part of the fun is the collaboration with guys that I love and respect. And so having someone like John Oates or Mike or Arnell play with me, it's like a dream come true. And so I think by the time the full Maine Monster record is done, I think listeners are going to have a really nice potpourri of different sounds and influences to enjoy. I can tell you, it's great fun to record with these guys and to hear those songs that I only heard in my head come alive through the speakers. It's really cool.
That's awesome. Now, all the proceeds of the track, I'm Yours, are directed towards the Feeding America. I guess it's an initiative. I think that is a very noble gesture. And honestly, in the world we live in today, so many people are in need of assistance. I understand that the charitable thing is something that you're constantly doing.
It is. You know, Mike and I and all these other musicians, many of us have been very fortunate in our lives. You know, the city of Los Angeles has given me a career and a lot, a really great life. And so during times of crisis, I think it's important for those of us that are feeling strong enough to try to give back to others. And so we've initiated a series of charitable efforts, things like going into hospitals and serving food to first responders and doctors and nurses, to hosting big concerts that raise money for organizations like Feeding America. Feeding America is the organization that goes into food banks across the country and restocks them when they run out of food. Because lately, during this pandemic, it's been a disaster. And these big food banks have run out of food. And so, you know, when someone like Mike or Arnell or I, when we step up to help, I mean, it's the very least we can do because we love our fellow man. We're artists that love people. And so we're trying to help each other out.
Right on. So earlier, you and I had discussed the fact that you were on tour with Def Leppard last year, and the tour this year unfortunately got postponed until next year. What was that experience like?
You know, I've been blessed to have toured with Def Leppard for the past several years all over America. Actually, we did a huge tour with Def Leppard and Journey together. That was unbelievable. It was so much fun all over North America. And then last year we did a Canadian tour that lasted about a month. I mean, we started way, way over on the right-hand side of the country and made our way back all the way to Calgary. It was awesome. And, you know, Canada in the summer is beautiful. You guys have some good weather and some cute girls. And so we had a great time. Those Canadian audiences were amazing. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard such loud, enthusiastic audiences as I have in Canada, spending time in cities like Toronto and Montreal. It was a blast. And the guys in Def Leppard, I mean, they're my favorite band from childhood. And so to get a chance to work with them, to get a chance to know them, and to get a chance to travel with them and see the world through their eyes, it's a dream come true. It's been amazing.
Yeah, Canada's okay in the summertime. I mean, the winter can be a little bit to be desired, but I mean, it doesn't last forever. It feels like it's going to last forever, but
well, we all have that in common, don't we? I mean, you know, you being from where you're from, I'm from out west in Canada, and Eric's from Maine.
Maine, yeah.
We've all had our taste.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, right now, I mean, the leaves are changing, and you're like, oh, it's so beautiful, but by January, you're like, is this over yet? Like, when's this gonna end? So, I mean, and we're really hoping that next summer there's going to be live shows. I mean, I'm sure everybody is that we're hoping that we're going to be able to go out and see concerts, because this was a hard year, I think, for everybody, for artists, for people, for music fans, for everybody, right?
It really was. I mean, the concert tour that Mike had planned with Nickelback, that was going to be unbelievable with Stone Temple Pilots and Switchfoot. Oh. I was so excited to see that.
I would have loved to see
I was pretty excited to see it myself. You know, hopefully we can pull it together again, because I was really looking forward to sitting on the side of the stage and watching STP every night, because they're, you know, a huge band for me. I love those guys, and I think their music's so awesome that I was really just excited to be able to watch them. You know, and playing our show was in some ways secondary. You know, just getting the opportunity to watch those guys. Love it.
Well, my biggest disappointment, I seen STP back. They opened for the Rolling Stones and on the Purple tour, and that was the last time I actually saw them. So, and Switchfoot, I think I saw in Buffalo, but I've actually never gotten to see Nickelback, and that's kind of that's on my bucket list.
Oh yeah, you got to get out, man.
I know. I've heard many good things about you guys live, and people haven't seen them. Like, they're amazing. I'm like. And I always kind of term you guys as the last arena rock band, the last really, really good arena rock band. So,
well, thank you very much. That's a high compliment, man.
Yeah, and that's amazing. But guys, before I let you go, I want to thank you for joining me on the show today. In terms of the song, so my listeners, where can they hear that? I'm sure it's on, you know, your Amazon Music and whatnot, but we might as well promote it since we're here.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. You can, your listeners can hear it on most streaming platforms, Apple Music and Spotify, of course, being the big ones. Just check out, the band's name is Maine, like the state of Maine, Maine Monster, and the song is called I'm Yours.
That's cool. All right. Anything else to say, Mike? Before I let you guys go?
This has been a really, really nice time chatting with you. It's really badass.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. It was really an honor. I was looking forward to this all day. So best of luck with that, and hopefully we'll get to chat again.
Awesome. Thanks
very much, sir.
Okay, right on, guys. Have a good night.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
But the radio stays on.